Welcome back to Gila's Tap House and Brewery today. Today we have a very exciting episode. I have two special guests with me, and by guests I mainly mean my assistant brewers. So I'm going to just go ahead and bring them in. You know Taylor already. She's been here a lot. She loves the show. I can't do a guest appearance show anymore without her being here, or she gets very, very salty. That's what's like being married. The other one is my friend David. He is my co-brewer. We come up with things together and we brew 4 or 5 batches of beer so far, so it's been fun. So you guys know when we bring someone on the show, we got to ask them certain questions to make sure that they're qualified to be here. So question 1, what is your favorite style of beer?
I have a bit of a sweet tooth, so I think my favorite style is stout. Bourbon barrel-aged stouts, you really can't go wrong with those. Get a lot of good flavors, so that's my answer.
Stout. Listermann's pastry stouts up there. You know, they're pretty sweet.
Generally, Listermann is up there in general. Being around the Cincinnati area for the past few years, my wife and I have gone to a lot of breweries, and consistently, Listermann beers are some of the best around. So yeah, definitely, really can't go wrong with what they make.
Perfect. Question 2, is the earth round or is it flat?
I consider myself a scientist. I went to school for chemistry. The earth is round, folks.
And this is coming from a man with a PhD in chemistry, so it's definitely round. All right, you know, I think they get it. I think they understand you brew. So today we have a very interesting range of beer for you. They're all barley wines. Now you're probably already going to turn off the channel because a lot of people run away from barley wines. They don't like them. They're scared of it when they hear the name. So let me tell you what a barley wine is. Barley wine is a beer. It's brewed just like a beer, and the name wine is because of the alcohol percent. It's normally up there between 10 to 12%, and that's where the term wine comes from. So it's a beer. And another thing that scares people about barley wines is there's a huge, wide range of flavors. They can be hoppy, front forward. They can be extremely bitters because of the hops. So they can be extremely malty. They can be sweet. They can be dark copper. They can be a little bit light. They can even be as far as black if you go as far as English. So there's a big, wide range. People don't like them. But it is to be fun because that's exactly what we're brewing today, and we have made a shit show out of today. This is supposed to take maybe 8 hours to brew. We're what? We started at 11. We're about 5 hours in, and we're not even close to being done. Today has been a disaster. I'm a wreck. I'm all sweaty. I'm gross, covered in shit. So I figured, why not do a show? I look presentable. So I'm going to kick it off for you. Oh, and I know what you're thinking. 3 people rating beers is going to take forever. We're not going to do that, but we changed it up a little bit for you today. So first up is Maiden. This is from 2016. This is from Siren. This is from Berkshire, New England. Now, why did I pick this beer? They were paying $10,000. I'm not sure what that equates to in euros. Pounds, it's England. What they were paying for that in pounds, but they're paying $10,000 for a taste of this. This bottle cost me $35. I was like, fuck it, I need to get it. So I'm just gonna do it.
If anybody wants a taste, we're willing to sell some for 10,000 pop.
Wow. So they haven't got to try these yet. I'm gonna let them try them later. For 10 grand. So this is coming in. This is coming in at 11.2%. It's got a 4.22 rating on Untappd. It is very fruit forward. So like I said, like there's a big wide range of things. It's sweet, but it's very fruit estery. Like it's very fruit flavored. It's very, very tasty. Drinkability for 11.2%. Now probably because it's aged since 2016, so it's going on 4 years. It's very easy drinking. Like I'm gonna easily be able to chug that if I had to. I'm not going to, but I could. Drinkability, it's off the charts. It's incredibly drinkable. It tastes like a barley wine. It's hard to really tell if it tastes like a barley wine because they're all over the place. Really what gets me is the $10,000 though. I mean, there's a lot of things I'd pay $10,000 for. You know, a car. I feel like a car is a reasonable $10,000 purchase. A hunt. I would pay $10,000 a hunt animal. Sex with Scarlett Johansson. I'd probably pay 10 grand. No thanks. Pay to have sex with Scarlett Johansson for 10 grand. I don't know if I'd pay for a sample of beer. Overall, full pour though. So David, why don't you go ahead and bring in what you would like?
All right. So the beer that I brought today is actually by Listermann. I know Patrick asked me about Listermann earlier. That was not planned. They're big fans. This is just coincidental. I have this at home. It is also a barley wine called High Society. They've done a few variants. I know I saw one aged in gin barrels. This one is aged in bourbon barrels and has coffee added. It's about 9%, so really looking forward to trying it. All right, so first impression, really you do get that bourbon. Very smooth though. I believe this variant was bottled in 2016. So again, we've had this for a few years. It's really, really smooth. Really nice flavors. I would drink this all day. I could sip on that, no problem. Very easy drinking. The coffee is Resurgam, which is, goes to charity, so really can't go wrong there. Comes in almost a 4 and untapped, but I would absolutely rate it higher. I would take a full pour of that anytime. So, yeah. I think, anything you want to add about that, Patrick?
I did. So I wasn't going to, but after I tried it, there is a strong bourbon flavor, and it works fairly well with the barley wine. And you said the coffee is like a cherry kind of coffee, right? Something with cherries?
Not cherry, but the coffee definitely comes not at first, but in the aftertaste. You absolutely know that you had a beverage with coffee in it, and it's great.
Okay, so maybe it wasn't cherry, but it's the fruitiness of the barley wine that I'm getting then that mixes with the coffee, and it's very, very pleasant. Big fan. I give it a full pour too.
All right, so with that, pass it to Taylor for.
All right, so this one actually is a pretty light colored barley wine, as you can see. It is by Mikkeller, Big Worcester. It is coming in at 15.4%, and it is American barley wine. Mikkeller actually started in 2006. When we went out to California, I know we talked about that on one of the shows. There is a Mikkeller in San Diego that we visited, and they have 40 different countries that they distribute to.
Big distribution.
I'm going to go ahead and give this a try. I'm not sure the flavor I'm getting. It's a very distinct taste. I don't know if you can pinpoint the flavor, but it's a little bit sweet.
Would you like to try it? This one's interesting.
Yeah,
Don't share at home, COVID, but we're all sterile, so fine.
We all drank some bleach before we started.
Yeah.
Don't try that at home either. But I think this one, it has a little bit of sweet, like maybe a little bit of maltiness to it. It's a little bit different for a barley wine. I honestly don't know if I could drink this all day long. I think I'm going to go with a 3/4 pour for that one. But it is different, so I don't know. I'm trying to pinpoint what the flavor is.
I'm with you. So at 15.4%, it's not that hard to drink,
no, it's
really.
Really smooth. Yeah.
It's really smooth for 15.4, which is kind of nice about barley wines. They're normally a little bit easier because they have a lot of flavor to them. It just depends what that flavor is. This one is really throwing me off. I didn't want to review this either because I didn't want to take up too much time, but
it smells a bit like a sour.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it has a slight sour, like that sour yeast taste.
Yeah,
to it.
and the flavor though comes across more grape juice.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's really,
It's
not
wine-ish.
bad, but it's
kind of
not
like,
what you
that's what I was thinking,
Yeah,
a little bit of wine-ish. I'm not like a white wine. I do want to show you the colors here. So this was the one David brought. There's the color there. This is my maiden. And this is the next one that we're going to talk about. As you can see, this one's extremely light, which makes me wonder if they boiled it. So when you brew barley wine, that's what the process that we're doing right now takes forever. You have a 4-hour boil, and it changes the color of your beer because it helps pull out some of the sugars, it helps bring out different things, and it changes the color of your beer, and that's what really gives it a lot of the flavor that it has. And I wonder if they made the barley wine and they didn't boil it long enough, and they were going for a more hop-forward American style, and this is what they came out with. Because it's not that dark, because normally it's got to be at least copper, for it to fare well, and it's not. This actually kind of looks like a Bud Light.
With our brew process, we will see how ours turns out. Ours
Yeah.
may also be lighter.
We'll find out. So I'm actually going to, you give that a 3/4 pour. I'm going to give it a half pour. It's solid, it's good, especially 15.4%, but it's not really doing it for me. I'm just not enjoying it that much. All right, last one. I picked this one. It's Third Coast Old Ale. This is actually 2015, so it's been around for a while. So it's aged, so that should help it out a little bit. I picked this one because you can find Bells almost anywhere. So people watching at home, you probably aren't going to find these two for sure, and this one, depending on where you're watching from, you might not be able to get it. But this one, you should be able to find if you want to try barley wine, really get your feet wet. The brewer said that this has like notes of caramel, some dry fruit. I'm just going to do it. Okay, so this one tastes more grainy. This one actually kind of has more of a cheap barley wine taste to it. What I mean by that is if you go to a brand new brewery that just opened up, they're normally running with like lesser ingredients because they have to produce for everybody coming in. They don't have a chance to specialize what they're making. That's kind of what this tastes like. It's not bad. You know, it's coming in at 10.2%, incredibly easy for drinkability. Taste for stout, it tastes like an American barley wine. It's more hop forward instead of fruity, but it tastes a little bit cheaper, but we're also drinking extremely high quality barley wines today. Yeah, it's definitely extremely hop forward, which is good for the American compared to the English style that's more malt forward. I'm going to give that a 3/4 pour. It's really good, but it's not quite where it's at. So we don't have a Taylor's Easy Drinking recommendation of the week. We don't even have a chuggable beer of the week. We figured 4 high alcohol barley wines would be enough to get you drunk. So, David, thank you for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
You know, Taylor, as always, you're always here. So there's that. But anyway, just remember, next time, happiness is just a flight away.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.